Hi, my name is Inga, and today I am making my first Pecha Kucha presentation. I'm going to go on a limb to say that we are all consumers of the news. I'm going to try to be conservative and say that 99% of us are using the social media. So my topic today is fake news in social media. Thinking back, my first encounter with fake news, as I remember, it was about 10 years ago when that happened to be on Facebook when I read that about the death of John Bon Jovi at the ripe age of 49. At the time, the news was so shocking, and yet it didn't even cross my mind to even think that it could be an outright lie. Because the fake news that I'm used to is, picking up the tabloid, checking into about the Bat-Child story, who's seen the Bigfoot, have the aliens landed lately, who got married, who got divorced, and that's about it. It was pretty much entertainment purposes. So today, the fake news is pretty much part of the norm. It entered our lives. We talk about it on a daily basis. There is, not a place, if you listen to the news at all, there's not a day that you can go without hearing it. And it's really the lies and the alternative reality, they're kind of giving a run to journalism as we know it. So although fake news seems like it's a new phenomenon that came to life in just the last couple of years, let's say, but some already say that this is the greatest threat to free speech, free public debate, and some even claim that it's a threat to democracy itself. So on a little bit lighter note, some years ago I was watching The Daily Show, a self-proclaimed fake news show. During one of their segments, they coined the term truthiness. So I would really like to ask you to Google it and tell me if that definition, and if you want to watch the episode, please do, is not the term of fake news as we know it today. But one thing to remember, that, just because we coined the term today, it's really not just something that, that happened in the last 2 years. Embellishing stories or, telling the masses the stories that are not true is something that we've done forever. So even Ben Franklin is known to have inserted a story in a Boston Globe newspaper about the massive slaughter of white settlers on the frontiers of New York. So the story went that Native Americans in the service of the British troops had collected 700 scalps of men, women, and children. There was outrage, and people died over it. But let's talk about today. So the fake news has pretty much taken a life of their own. They're part of our unhealthy news diet, and definitely helped by social media because, their priorities are to get more users, to get more ads, and to get more shares and clicks. So thinking further, there's about 1 billion users worldwide of social media. And you know what? 50% of those people, at least, are actually get their news from social media. So what do you think we share? Well, have you heard about confirmation bias? Think about it. So studies have also been done with the Twitter users, and they shown that Twitter users almost prefer to retweet fake stories. In fact, fake stories outperform the true stories in every subject. If you think about, the 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, the vaccination studies have actually been part of the subject of the fake news. So I guess the question is, why? Well, the answer is actually very simple. So we are like juicy stories, and we want to believe things that we want to believe. So the communications revolution provided people with different ways to access information. It also allowed us to create filters to filter in or filter out information or the news that we want to see or want to believe ourselves. And that's, I think, that's where the true danger lies. When it spreads like a wildfire in social networks. As long as we continue liking and sharing, and because of the confirmation bias, what we like and what we share is very limited because we only tend to share what we believe in to be true. So some kind of blame the social media and the technology companies to take responsibility. And I agree, it's long past due. But at the end of the day, even Mark Zuckerberg kind of said this, in the last couple of years that that it was actually a pretty crazy idea that Facebook affected the elections. True or not, but here we are today talking about the fake news every day. So Zuckerberg also claimed that his company was a social company, not a publisher. But as the effect of fake news has become subject to public debate, certain measures have been taken to filter out the fake news and prevent those from spreading. But until we see results, it really comes to us, the social media users, to use responsibly. Know what we know today, we cannot continue treating social media as a legitimate agency. Think about it. It's not some journalists doing their homework running around. It's the algorithms picking the buzzwords. So the users of social media are what makes the social media social, which is you and I. We engage others with the content we see, so we have an inherent responsibility to provide information that is valid and accurate when it matters. I'm not saying to try to check every story. So social media will have no incentive to have any true measures to correct the situation and to block the fake news media as long as we continue to be passive consumers. So we have to really think twice before the next click. So in the end, again, I want to kind of summarize real quickly. We are responsible. When we consume, facts do matter. So think before you do the next click. So I hope it was informative, and I'm looking forward to your comments. Thank you.